One of my opponents recently said
Uno de mis oponentes recientemente comentó
that it would take an act of God for me to win this primary.
que para yo ganar esta primaria se tomaría que fuera un acto de Dios.
I agree with him.
Estoy de acuerdo.
Rick Santorum may be betting that God is on his side, but not if God is a moderate Republican, according to a poll released by the Pew Research Center. Rick Santorum has a problem inside his own party. 20% of Republicans who currently support Romney say that if Rick Santorum wins the Republican nomination, they will likely switch sides completely and vote for President Obama. That is almost double the 11% of Santorum supporters who say that they would vote for President Obama if Romney is the Republican nominee. That's why the red, white, and blue super PAC that supports Rick Santorum doesn't dare say anything specific about what Rick Santorum would actually do as president.
Meet the real Mitt Romney. Supported the Wall Street bailout, putting America trillions in debt. Raised job-killing taxes and fees by $700 million, leaving Massachusetts over $1 billion in debt. His health care takeover, the blueprint for Obamacare. Mitt Romney, more debt and taxes, less jobs, more of the same. Rick Santorum, a bold plan for the middle class. Create dynamic jobs and cut wasteful spending. Rick Santorum for president. Red, White, and Blue Fund is responsible for the content of this ad.
Joining me now is Bob Vanderplaats, president and CEO of the Family Leader, who endorsed Rick Santorum before the Iowa caucuses. Bob, you were on board early for the Santorum surge. Do you fear that Rick Santorum has already gone too far in a conservative direction when you hear these polling numbers about Romney supporters that would abandon the party over Rick Santorum?
No, I really don't, because what it is that we're in the midst of a heated primary battle. And so people are lining up with their candidate, and they're doing so vigorously. I think what people are finding out with Rick Santorum, why he's doing so well, is that they trust him. They like him. He's a great family man. He's experienced. He's knowledgeable. And I think he'll win in those toss-up states of Pennsylvania and Ohio. And I think that's why people are giving him that shot he needs to be the nominee of our party.
Now, everybody's saying you guys need Gingrich out of the race so you can get that one-on-one and get all that Gingrich support. We showed last night that you'd probably get about 57% of the Gingrich support, but Romney would get, pretty much the rest of it. I think there's another reason to keep Gingrich in, which is when you get to these gaffes that the candidates commit. And I'm going to play you something that Rick Santorum said in Puerto Rico. Let's listen to this.
They have to speak English. That would be a requirement. It's a requirement that we put on other states. It's a condition for entering the union. If you're going to participate as a state in the United States, then you need to participate in the language of the people speaking in the states.
See, now, with this crowded race, when he says something as completely wrong as that, and I'm being charitable when I phrase it that way, it'll go away faster. There is no requirement that any state have an official language of English in order to be admitted to the union. There never has been. Puerto Rico could be admitted to the union without that, and what he doesn't know, and what you could have learned in this makeup room here tonight, is that all students in Puerto Rico are required to learn English in order to graduate. It is a mandatory school curriculum now.
First of all, we applaud Puerto Rico for doing that, because English, as you know, makes us the melting pot of this country. I come from the Dutch heritage, and even though my ancestors spoke Dutch, they wanted us to learn English to be that melting pot. But as far as Newt Gingrich getting out of the race, that's Newt's call. I mean, Newt and I are very good friends. I've always said Mitt Romney does not want a one-on-one, especially with Rick Santorum. We said that back in Iowa. As long as conservatives divide up this vote, it's only going to prop up Romney. But I will say this. Had Gingrich been out of this race, Michigan's in Santorum's column. Ohio's in Santorum's column. Alabama and Mississippi are 2-1 Santorum, and this race is completely different today.
I agree if you just do the math, but I think a clip like that shows you that there's a difference. Romney, I think, has been reasonably well prepared to be a front runner. He does have those crazy gaffes about $10,000 bets. All the rich guy stuff is what he's constantly doing, right? But basically, he runs pretty smooth. The question is Rick Santorum really ready for the focus he would actually get in a one-on-one race, which is greater than than the press and media focus he's getting now?
I think completely, and the reason is, as I wrote in an opinion editorial for the U.S. News and World Report, is because of the trust factor. People trust Rick Santorum. So even if he makes a mistake, they still trust. They know where he's at. Mitt Romney's been running for president for a long time, and he'll morph himself into the candidate he needs to be, depending on the campaign that he's in, which sends a message to us that, we probably can't trust him. That's why Mitt Romney can't close the deal. He can't, with conservatives, he can't be trusted. And so, therefore, until he does that, and I don't think there's enough time to do it, that's where Santorum's besting Romney right now.
Bob Vanderplatz, thank you very much for joining me tonight.
I appreciate it.